Hillary Clinton released a new ad, and in so many ways, it's just quintessential peak Hillary. Let's watch, and then I'll explain why it annoys me so much.
Spread a little hope and love now. Oh, we'll walk it out together now. Oh.
This is my daughter, Nova. My granddaughter, Ava. They were killed 7 years ago.
Oh, bless your heart. Oh, my gosh.
We'll walk it out together now. Oh. Spread a little hope and love now.
We need to make sure he gets a chance to learn how to do that.
We'll walk it out together now.
America is stronger when we are all supporting one another.
Spread a little hope and love now.
I'm Hillary Clinton, and I approve this message.
She managed to do a minute-long ad and not mention a single policy. Don't tell me that the critics from the left of Hillary Clinton are too hard on Hillary Clinton. Every single argument they've made against her has turned out to just be true. So what's one of the main things that all of us have been saying all along? You know, hey, it's weird. You listen to Hillary Clinton talk, you look at her ads and just everything she does, and it seems as if all she does is talk in cliches and platitudes, and when asked to get specific with policy proposals, she doesn't have anything. All she does is she relies on these emotional ploys where, look, it said it right there. Let's break down the barriers. Okay, but what does that mean? How do you plan? What policies would break down the barriers? Which barriers are you talking about? She says, so we can all rise together, do all the good that we can, in all the ways that we can. Let's protect each other. But what does any of that mean? These are just flowery words. This is just rhetoric. You know, you put, a touching song in the background, and you're walking and smiling and hugging people. Oh my, she cares about people. She's touching the peasants. Oh, isn't that tremendous? Isn't that great? Queen Hillary, Queen Hillary. She's not even telling you what she would do if she were elected. And then, by the way, when she does actually say it, in the rare instances she does, half the time she says, I'm going to be more progressive than Bernie Sanders. The other half of the time, she's like, I'm going to be super moderate and incremental, and I'm not going to make promises I can't keep, which is code word for fuck universal healthcare, fuck universal college, among other things. And then now also she's in the middle of her general election pivot, which means run further to the right and go back on everything progressive you said in the primary. So when push comes to shove, this is all she's got. Let's love each other. Let's, hold hands and sing Kumbaya under a rainbow. Do you want to vote for me? I can say more cliches and platitudes for you. What does any of that mean? Tell me what it means. Compare this to Bernie Sanders. I was, sitting in my living room recently, and a Bernie Sanders ad came on TV. I'm in New York, and obviously there were some ads run here. That's rare because we seldom matter in primary season, but we mattered this time. They're running ads. Bernie's given a fucking 12-point policy plan, and, he's going into detail. Universal single-payer Medicare for all. Healthcare is a right. We need to try to bring back Glass-Steagall. What? This guy is fucking dripping policy substance. He's telling you exactly what he wants to do. Hillary Clinton, let's break down the barriers so we can all rise together and do all the good that we can in all the ways that we can, and let's protect each other, and I like apple pie, and mother is great, and rainbows are great, and puppies are cute, and am I getting your vote yet? A minute-long ad. You said nothing. You said nothing. Love. What does that mean? What are you going to do? 45,000 people die every year because they don't have access to basic health care. Do you want Medicare for all or do you not want it? No, you don't want it. Okay, well then still some people are going to die. How's that for love? That ain't love to me. You voted for a war where minimum 150,000 civilians died in Iraq. That war costs trillions of dollars. That doesn't sound like love to me. You voted for the Patriot Act, which opened the door for the NSA to collect all of our information. That doesn't sound like love. That sounds like a fucking police state to me. Policy doesn't matter. Policy doesn't matter. Put that aside. Oh, we can all rise together. Last night in the town hall, somebody asked a fantastic question. It was an African-American woman in her 20s who's an attorney who told a very touching personal story about how both my parents were addicted to drugs. They told me you're going to get an education. She got an education. She made something of herself. Really touching stuff. And she said, what policies can you implement to help fight the systemic racism that I felt when I was getting my education and I was becoming an attorney? I felt it. I know those situations I had where it was just racist. What's Hillary's response? I kid you not. She said, we need to talk about it more. Talk about systemic racism more. And she said it in 3 different ways in like a 3.5 minute, 4 minute time span. So, well, first of all, what we're going to do is we need to talk about it more. And then what I need to do is, as a white person myself, I need to recognize it, and then I need to talk about it more. Now, look, okay, so that's something you can say. There's nothing wrong with that. But what are you going to do policy-wise? Fucking crickets. I don't hear anything. You're not saying anything. Ask Bernie Sanders about systemic racism. People have, and they've done it repeatedly. He gives you multiple specific policy proposals. One of the first things he says is, well, hey, wait a second. When we talk about the drug war, black people and white people use marijuana, for instance, at about the same rate. Black people are arrested for it 4 times more often. When it comes to drug sales, white people are way more likely to sell drugs, but way less likely to get arrested for selling drugs. So what does he say? I'm going to try to legalize marijuana, and I'm going to take it out of the scheduling that it is right now. So, he says, I promise you, by either the end of my first term or the end of my first year in office, we will not be the number 1 nation on earth in terms of incarceration. You know what that means? He's going to release the nonviolent drug offenders. He's going to try to legalize marijuana. He says this, he says 18 other policies. He gives you exactly what he wants to do, and he's very specific. Why? Because he actually gives a shit about the policy substance. He's a policy wonk, and he really cares. He cares about this shit, okay? Whereas Hillary, I think in order to fight systemic racism, we should talk about it more, and we should break down the barriers so we can all rise together, and we can do all the good that we can in all the ways that we can, and we can protect each other. You're not saying anything. You're not saying anything. So, so many people are just naively saying, like, no, in the general election, a lot of Bernie voters are going to go over to Hillary Clinton. If you think she's going to get all the Bernie voters, that's cute, 90%, 80%, 70%. And maybe she gets 60. Probably more likely she gets 50, thereabouts, maybe less. Because they couldn't be any more different Democrats. One is an actual liberal, an actual progressive, cares deeply about the substance and talks about it ad nauseum. The other one is pro-corporatist, pro-establishment, center-right, has a horrible voting record. And even when in a Democratic primary where you're supposed to be the most progressive, she can't bring herself to say anything other than, we need to talk about systemic racism and break down the barriers, and we can all rise together and protect each other and stuff and things. Happiness, apple pie, rainbows, mother, puppies. They're cute. Vote for me if you like puppies.